Hello and welcome to episode number 7 of the loading screen. This is Kadex Gaming. On your top left you see the Monsterous Rage. And on the top right you see the living emote, Angry Iceberg. Today is a all VR edition of the loading screen. We're going to be talking about the different peripherals, different games. I hear myself. Let's just stop that. Okay. We're going to be talking games, the different headsets, what they're going to be used for, just basic VR. Should you buy it? Should you not buy it? And then at the end, we'll have some gaming news and whatnot. So let's go around the table. First, introduce yourself. We'll do an introduction every podcast from now, henceforth on. Monsterous Rage, who are you?
Who am I? Who am I? That's
who am I?
Who am I? What am I doing here? What is it all about? Yeah, I'm a variety broadcaster on Twitch. I stream on majority of consoles that are out right now, and I dabble a little bit in PC. But the schedule is there. I am doing between 6 and 7 days a week, 8 hours a day, sometimes 12. But yes, I play all across the board. Everything that you can get your hands on, I'm probably getting my hands on. And if you want to see a new game, come on by. Come on by. Come on by. Join the Rage Army. That's what I got to say.
All right, and for everybody who doesn't know Angry Iceberg, which is probably nobody on the planet by now.
Thanks a lot.
Who are you, Angry Iceberg?
I am a daily Destiny streamer. I've been streaming Destiny every day since July. With a couple exceptions. Well, with one exception, I should say. But I've streamed Destiny every single day, and that's pretty much all I do, except for I do stream NHL 16 for my leaguegaming.com league matches. Other than that, all Destiny all the time, helping out people through raids, helping out people through PvP, trials if the mood swings. But other than that, man, just chilling. You guys should stop by and hang out.
There we go. Well, my name's Kadex Gaming, if you guys don't know. I do a lot of charity streams. I believe in charity. I don't need to, take donations for gaming equipment, game gear, and whatnot. I prefer to go ahead and buy that on my own. So what donations I do take in, I do give it back out to the Twitch community, whether it's Twitch helping Twitch or whether it's a special event where we have like the Extra Life or something for St. Jude's or whatnot. So that's what I do. Currently playing Fallout 4. Been playing that since its release, and I have not stopped. That game's got a hold on me, at least for the foreseeable future, because it's just so massive, and it's a game I like to call, it's a game of 1,000 distractions, where you can, I have a quest, something shiny, and then you're off for 2 hours doing something shiny. So that's me in a nutshell. This is the loading screen. This is episode 7, and like I said, this is the VR edition, where we're going to be talking virtual reality, and we're going to be discussing that. So first off, I want to discuss something that's already out. The Samsung virtual reality, the Samsung peripheral that came out for the S5 and X6 phones. How do you guys feel about mobile devices being used for virtual reality? And what do you think its practical applications will be? We'll start with Rage.
Well, first off, I want to say this on VR just in general. Only the really dedicated, hardcore people that just love VR tech are going to be into VR right off the bat. I'm myself, I would love to try the tech, but am I ready to jump on board? No. I think that we still have a couple of years to go with VR technology. And people are buying tech right now that is, in my opinion, half done. And going to your Samsung device, when I think of VR experience, I think of something that takes you out of the world completely that you're in. And that device alone, I mean, you pop your mobile phone onto the front of it, and then it's got cameras that link up and basically create your 3D world. But the problem is that you still have to use the device up in the top corner to push buttons to activate certain aspects of whatever you're doing, whether it be a game or if you're watching a movie. Um, so it still keeps you out of that virtual place. Now, don't get me wrong, I've seen some of the videos of the tech that's involved in there and some of the stuff that's been highlighted. For instance, the movie theater. Um, you want to see a trailer of a movie, they were showing tech where you would actually be sitting in a theater and you could turn your screen all the way around and you would see that you were sitting in a seat in the movie theater and there were other people there in the theater that were also using the tech to watch the same thing. And I thought that was really cool. But it still has a way to go, and I think money is going to be dropped on products that are half done and people are going to be disappointed, and the companies that need that money aren't going to get that money because people have already passed on because of what's currently being brought out.
Right. How do you feel about it, Angry Iceberg, as far as the Samsung one and VR in general? What's your first points to make?
Well, I think, number one, I'm super excited about VR, okay? I am one of those guys that I want to be an early adopter, but I'm going to be cautious about it. Now, when we're talking about the Samsung VR headset, I think that they may have been a little hasty and rushing to market and trying to capitalize on something that had a lot of hype a year, 2 years ago. And so I'm really skeptical about how it's going to perform and basically what the everyday usage of it would be. It's kind of a neat novelty, but to put it on a phone, I don't know if like I said, the technology is really there to make it a viable competitor to the other devices that we're going to talk about tonight. So, like I said, it's a cool little novelty. It's the first out to the market. People are going to pick it up just for that. And, just to, use their Samsung devices with it. And I'm sure people will enjoy it. But again, I don't think it's going to be a long-term device that people are going to be really putting a lot of uses into.
Honestly, with mine, as far as actual VR goes, I believe that it's a technology in its birth. And when you have a technology that is just in its birth, and you're kind of developing a new system of entertainment, because there's nothing quite like VR. You can have a big screen TV, a big 70-inch TV, but you can't turn your head like this and look around the world. So we're kind of ushering in a new age of entertainment with virtual reality. Now, is it going to be great for the everyday consumer? Not yet. It's too expensive and it's too new to really have that established foothold in entertainment. But is it going to be nice for the developers? Is it going to be nice for people looking like, okay, I can use this for this type of game. I can use this for this type of application. 3D modeling and applications even outside of gaming. I believe that it's going to be... It's in its infancy, but I can see the potential in it. There's massive amounts of potential riding behind this peripheral. Now, with the Samsung VR, I think that that's almost the cheesiest way you could do VR. I'm going to talk about one really cheesy way of doing VR. Google has provided us with a few laughs with this. But I believe just popping your phone into a headset, I mean, it doesn't seem like virtual reality. It seems like the viewfinders, the red viewfinder that you click over and the image wheel just spins. That's what it feels like to me. And I believe that if that is what we're judging VR at its infancy, it's going to give virtual reality a bad name from the get-go. And we'll have another Virtual Boy on our hands.
And there's a lot of companies out there that are pumping this stuff out right now, and some are
yes.
really good and need the support, and others you just need to stay away from because there's a lot of money that's going to be spent and a lot of money wasted when these products come out. And I just fear, like, I'm jumping ahead and I won't go into detail, but Project Morpheus with PlayStation 4. I was so on board with the Kinect when it came out on the 360. I was like, "This is so cool."
Yes,
Oh, you were that
yes.
guy.
Out.
Oh,
You
dude,
were
I was
that
I was that
guy.
guy too.
Yeah,
I
and then
was.
it
Oh,
came
you were
out,
both that
and I
guy.
was just
Nice.
so sad. I was like, I just spent $150 on this piece of shit.
Well, I think it's just one of those simple facts. It was just empty promises, or it was
Yeah.
our expectations were higher than what they should have been, but it was based on the promotion for that particular device. I mean, for what the Kinect should have been, it should have been everything they said. It just fell short, and I think a lot of it, in that instance, had a lot to do with the software support behind it as well. But it did also do a lot of good things outside of gaming.
Yeah, and that's
when people found other ways to use it. So.
and that's exactly what I was going to go to. Is that I think VR is going to be more suited to doctors and that sort of programmed area. Patients being operated on instead of having to use cadavers, they could use programs and have them in a virtual world. And then if they make a mistake, they're not going to destroy the cadaver. They can just reset the program so that they get it right. Or if they do make a mistake, have it simulate what would happen to that patient and how you stop that mistake from getting worse.
I think they already have something like that called Surgeon Simulator.
Yeah, but let me tell you something. If somebody was being trained using that, and then they said, "Okay, well, Surgeon Simulator, I'm all ready. Let's work on your kidney."
No.
Yeah,
No.
I don't think I'd be letting that person touch me with anything.
Now,
But I
Go
think
ahead.
it does have applications outside of the gaming world. I mean, I think it's going to be the same thing as the Kinect sensor. It's going to be a novelty thing for some people. It's not going to be purchased widely, only because it's not packaged in box. If people can buy a console without that stuff, they're just going to do it. It's cheaper, and they have plenty of other games to experience without having to drop that. I don't know what it is. It's something like $400 or $500 for this thing that they're quoting.
yeah.
So
I mean, with the VR technology that's going to be coming out, I mean, Project Morpheus, HoloLens, the Oculus, and then you have the Steam version of VR, which, dear God, I'm going to laugh at that. I can see that as far as a gaming peripheral in a more of an exploration type of game, wherein not like a Warcraft or a Uncharted. I'm thinking more along the lines of like if Minecraft were to be an exploration game
or Journey.
Or Journey, exactly.
Yeah.
It's going to be kind of more of a casual peripheral, but for hardcore gamers that are willing to shell out that $200, $300, $400 for a headset. Now, as far as it goes for Twitch, it's going to be a nightmare for streamers to use this technology.
I'm scared to see what I have to do to hook this
because
thing up.
people are going to stream with this technology. You can't see chat. There's no way you can see it.
No.
Maybe with the HoloLens, maybe. But even so, it's going...
now we're talking some high-tech stuff here, Kadex. I don't know if they're going to go that far yet.
Well, no, the HoloLens has been quoted. It's got a box where you see your 3D modeling and whatnot. But on the outside, you could use your peripheral vision and see like chat or whatnot and look at a screen.
Gotcha.
So it's not full 3D. You can actually see through the glasses and whatnot, so you'd be able to interact a little bit more. But I honestly don't see certain Mike Knight said in the chat. Do you see Twitch coming out with a way to broadcast such things, and how would you go about doing that?
It's going to be a nightmare because you got to capture 3D elements. You got to capture the surround. Like I have no idea how they're going to be able to do that. There's gonna be tech out there that you're going to have to buy and hook up to it, and that's just the way it is. That's the way it is. You're going to buy another piece of equipment to stream the piece of equipment that you just bought.
And I honestly don't think that it's going to come from the VR side. And I don't think Twitch is going to invest the money it would take to create the programs or create the algorithms it's going to take to project chat in a VR headset. Yeah. With so many different VR headsets, you got the Oculus, you got the Favo or whatever it's called, and there's about 30 other ones just for the PC. I'm not even talking the Steam one. there's just so many different peripherals. You're going to have code for all the different peripherals because they're all being coded differently. And
not to mention your PC is going to have to be a beast to run it.
Oh yeah, your PC is going to it's going to have to be a beast to run any of this. Unless you pop in a mobile phone, you need a beast system. Now the PS4 and the Xbox One, they are beast systems. You'll be able to, of course, use your HoloLens with an Xbox One. You'll be able to use Project Morpheus or PlayStation VR, as they're naming it now, with the PlayStation 4. Speaking of virtual reality, I want to go ahead and dip into what Google has done. I think this is absolutely brilliant, but absolutely idiotic at the same time. I'm calling it the Shoebox VR because it's literally like an Amazon Firebox that you fold and put on your head. What in blue hell is this? Okay, Monsterous Rage, please just give me your thoughts on the cardboard Shoebox VR.
I think everybody should purchase it. It'll be the cheapest one out there.
Yeah. Yeah, it sure will be.
VR? There you go. There you go. Cheap,
it's actually free because they released the specs on how you make it.
Nice.
They basically
just
released the design
plans.
plans.
And you're good to go.
Yeah. How do you feel about Rage?
Google. That should have been an April Fool's prank by them.
Yeah. Iceberg?
Yeah, I think it might be just a joke. I mean, seriously, I mean, it's yeah, there really isn't much to say about it.
Put on the glasses. Look.
Yeah.
Virtual world.
Yeah.
I was talking about that
Shit,
viewfinder
it looks like my
thing.
world.
Look at box. Hey, look, I'm in virtual reality, Ma.
We've gone back to the 1980s with that viewfinder clicker thing because that's exactly what it looks like. Man, it's funny to see them kind of jab at it because they're not taking it seriously. We all know this. They're not taking VR seriously. They have Google Glass, and that was a complete bomb.
Right.
I mean,
I don't have high hopes for gaming with VR. I mean, I could see VR being more along the lines of let's say a quadriplegic person. Now you're able to put a virtual reality headset on and just like take them away from what they have to deal with, bring them into another world that they would never see in their life, and have them have the ability to manipulate that world on their own. I think it's a really good therapy tool. Same with people like, for instance, somebody has claustrophobia. You can have a therapist that has that system on and have them in a room that's nice and open, and you can slowly close in, but at levels so that they can handle, the phobia that they've got. I think, like I said before, I think it's really going to be useful in the medical industry for a lot of mental illness people, and I'm on board with that. There's been cases where even not mental illness, but burn victims. They had burn victims that were on morphine while they were getting wrapped. If anybody doesn't know what that is, I don't want to go into detail, but basically they're pulling off the old bandages, and when they get to the burnt skin, obviously you can imagine what kind of pain is associated with that. So they would inject them with morphine to bring that pain level down. And they found that they tested a group of people with virtual reality headsets on, and they had them play this penguin game. They were in the Arctic. I think it was called Snowball. And they had penguins in the background, and they would basically have to throw snowballs at these penguins. And they had these headsets on them while they were getting unwrapped. And after they had done it, they said they felt less pain with the headset on than they did if they were to get the morphine shot.
Oh,
wow.
And they think it's because of sensory overload. The brain just is getting so much coming in that it's not focusing on the pain of the leg.
Wow. That's actually quite interesting.
Yeah, I think it's really going to be a great tool in that field. Same with people that have phantom pain in their lost limbs. They put them into a virtual world where that limb is back, and then they can train their mind. If, for instance, if they feel like they lost their arm and their hand is clenched and it's just that solid clench and they can't get rid of that phantom pain, they put them into a virtual world so they can see their physical hand and be able to train their brain to realize that this kind of sensation is the way that they need to be when they're getting that clenched fist. And then they're able to handle their pain when they're not in that virtual world.
Right. I see a lot of uses as well on a more business side. I see architects really getting into virtual reality, especially with the HoloLens, where you can, just like the E3 Minecraft demonstration, where you had that 3D Minecraft build. Just think of what architects could do with a 3D blueprint, being able to Tony Stark it and pull it apart and put it together and say, okay, this needs to be this way and shaped like this, and here's the dimensions for this. And then, you could have 2 or 3 people, like project managers, walking around with these headsets on, seeing exactly what the other people are seeing. Be like, okay, we see how that works.
If nobody knows what Kadex is talking about, just go to an E3 search of the Minecraft video.
Yeah, E3
HoloLens
Minecraft, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
Basically, a flat tabled surface, and then you see Minecraft level just rise right out of this table.
Yeah, definitely one of the coolest. Definitely one of the coolest displays at E3. That year's or this.
That was very cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I could definitely see VR in an architect / construction aspect. Like you said, for medical purposes, I can see a vast use for not only the HoloLens, but a full VR goggle set. There's just so many possibilities that VR does have, but we do have to remember, it is in its infancy. It's going to have a lot of problems. There's going to be 4 sets of Oculus Rift. They're already shipped out Dev Kit 2, and they're already working on Dev Kit 3.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. Now, am I going to be, first in line to get my VR? No. I'm not going to be first in line. But will I get it? Yes. I will get the VR.
I'm the same way.
I'm going to be getting either the HoloLens or the Project Morpheus, but I will not be getting both. So I'm doing a lot of research right now, trying to decipher on which one I want to get. I think I'm actually going towards the the Morpheus for PS4. So we're gonna go ahead and compare the two. We're gonna compare the HoloLens and we're gonna compare the Project Morpheus, and tell me how you guys feel about like the open glasses that HoloLens has, and compare it to a full goggle set that Morpheus has and Oculus Rift has. Do you think there's going to be much of a difference as far as what your senses can absorb, or is it going to be more along the lines of just aesthetics?
Well, I think you got to think about it this way. I mean, number one is virtual reality. The other one's augmented reality. And so there's going to be a couple things. Now, number one is how far can the hardware be pushed and the software be pushed to create an immersive environment that you actually believe you're in when you're talking about virtual reality. Okay, and the same thing is going to go with the Oculus. Is how good is the technology going to be into fooling your eye into thinking there's actually something in front of you? Okay, because the one thing with the Oculus, or not with the Oculus, but with the HoloLens, is that you're going to have the items in front of you. You're going to want to be manipulating them with your hands, but you're not going to have that tactile feel, right? And so now with your PlayStation VR, your Oculus Rift, your virtual reality goggles, you're going to have something. You're probably going to have something tactile to touch onto, because you're not going to really have those other senses. You have a controller or some other form of peripheral to add to that. And not to mention, any other kind of motion peripherals, whether it be, some sort of treadmill type situation. So, I mean, I really think that they're going to be completely different experiences as far as how your body and your mind relate to them. But so I mean, that's kind of how I feel. It's going to be interesting to see really how immersive it is. And that's really what it is, what the whole point of it is, as far as from our standpoint as gamers. Because that's what we're going to be interested in, is, how immersive are those experiences going to be? If it's just going to be watching a movie on a, I'd rather not. I'm not going to buy it to watch a movie. Now, adult movies, interactive adult movies, that's a different story. But that's maybe a subject for a different podcast. But that's going to go there. That's going to be the adult industry's next videotape.
The new chat roulette, is that what it's going to be?
Oh man, there's going to be that's a whole nother can of worms we could open up right there. But yeah, I mean, that's like I said, I think they're going to be just different experiences, and it's going to be interesting to see how they're implemented, and as well as what kind of software support they get. That's what's really concerning for me. That was one of the reasons, like I mentioned before, why the Kinect failed so hard, is because there really wasn't any good software support on the gamer side. Nobody was using it, and that's why they wanted to package it in with the Xbox One. Everybody freaked out.
They killed it though. They killed it by packaging it separately. As soon as they did that, every person that was working on a game that had the Kinect involved was like, "Oh my God, we're gonna lose millions."
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, but then at the same point, Microsoft already knew that it was done. Yeah, and that's why they did it. They're like, well, we might as well cut bait and whatever, so it is what it is.
By the way, I'm going right after the podcast. I'm going to register the domain name Virtual Bang, just when VR goes that route.
That's if it's not already.
But
taken.
Have you guys watched the movie Gamer?
Yes.
Where the guy's controlling that first-person shooter guy that's in prison and whatnot. That's what I think that VR could be, but not like controlling an actual human. That would also.
Oh, I don't know. I wouldn't mind controlling an actual human.
Oh, I know, Monsterous. But of an avatar like that, where you're in a room for VR that's specifically built for it. Now, do I think we have the technology for that? Absolutely not. We don't. We don't have the processing power required for something of that scale. But, like I said, it's in its infancy. It will eventually get to something like that one day. I'm pretty sure it will. Now, whether it's for gaming or whether it's for other uses outside of gaming, eventually it's going to get there. Sir Mike Knight in the chat says, when are they going to come out with holograms? Well, technically, holograms already exist.
Yeah, they've existed for decades.
They have existed for quite a long time, but we don't use them because there's no practical use for them. Because you can reflect light off of water falling and project an image in 3D space that way. That's how holograms are made for movies and whatnot. Besides from visual effects, if they need something tactile, that's how they do that.
Look at the brain on Bradley.
But some of the other virtual reality peripherals, I'm going to talk about the one that I'm actually most disappointed in, and that's Steam's